Patrick's Landing, copyrighted by Marie D. Henry, 2010. When they reached the company office and store in Bathurst at 4 that afternoon, Mr. Doucet touched Oswald's elbow and pointed to a young man standing to one side of the building's doorway. "He is no older than I am," Oswald thought. "I wonder who he is." Mr. Doucet held on to Oswald's elbow while he hugged the young man's shoulders when they reached him, and with a voice full of pride announced something to the young man in French that Oswald did not understand, but assumed that he was telling him about the planned Christmas visit from the few words he did understand, like Noel and a girl's name, Lizzie. Before Mr. Doucet could explain any further, the young man stuck out his hand, and when Oswald took it in his, he pumped it up and down like he was pumping water from a well. His English was better than Mr. Doucet's when he spoke. "I am Jerome. I'm glad to meet you. For sure you are welcome to our house for Christmas." With that, he slapped Oswald on the shoulder as if he was welcoming home a loved brother. Not knowing what else to do, Oswald slapped him back, and just a little harder. Jerome said something to Mr. Doucet in French. Then he touched his right hand to his cap at Oswald, and both men walked over to a waiting sled hitched to a white mare that looked like she was in need of energy. They stepped into the sled box, and Jerome picked up the reins and slapped the dozing horse on the rump with them. It jerked awake and trotted off. Both men turned and held their right hands up in a final gesture of farewell as they went around a turn in the street and were gone. "Well," Oswald thought, "Jerome seems like a pretty decent fellow, and he is a handsome man. If the girls are as good-looking as their brother, it will be worth the trip. I need to meet some new girls. The ones in Patrick's Landing are beginning to bore me. Besides that, I don't consider them wife material." He admitted, yeah, I can do better. Besides that, the old man likes me. The old fellow..." That tricked me. There we go. Sorry. "Is not only seeking a husband for his oldest daughter, he actually likes me. That was clear when I asked him to put in a word for me to the boss about becoming a widowmaker, tree faller." Mr. Doucet had replied, "Oui, you work with me." And he had thought, if the Christmas visit does not produce a future wife, I still will have my job as a logger. With his mind full of Christmas expectations, Oswald turned and went into the company store where he got his pay envelope from the company clerk, a heavy-set man with a belly that hung over his belt. His bearded face beamed at Oswald, and his voice sounded as pleasant as thunder thudding on a barrel when he spoke. "There you are, all $50 of it, my man." He looked at Oswald with a gleam in his jet-black eyes under bushy eyebrows. "So, old man Doucet invited you to go meet his 3 daughters, did he? Well, I can see that you could not do better. Some beauties they are, yes sir. I tried to court the oldest one, but she won't have anything to do with me. It looks like her old man thinks you are a better catch for her, but I don't know where he sees that." He roared with laughter that shook his punch like a huge lump of jelly. "Good luck, kid. Watch your money, I would advise." Oswald felt his blood boil up into his head as anger stiffened his muscles. It took all of his will power not to punch the bearded face leering at him across the counter. He turned on his heels and left the store. And just as he stepped into the darkness, a voice hailed him. "Hey, Oswald, you want to ride home?"